Hi, I'm Jeff Hoyt, Editor-in-Chief of SeniorLiving.org. As the pandemic has kept seniors home more and isolated, many have finally taken the leap into social media, like Facebook and Instagram. But like most ventures, social media has both pluses and minuses. You may want to find old friends and discuss the latest Netflix thriller, but you don't want to open yourself up to identity thieves and online scammers. But how do you protect yourself in this strange online world, where people may not be whom they appear to be? Jessica Gandhi, the social media manager for SeniorLiving.org, is the perfect choice for guiding you through the pitfalls of social media, as she's a social media expert and works on senior issues on a daily basis. In this video, Jessica will explain why people need to protect themselves on social media and reveal her top 5 ways of doing so. Because of social distancing, we will be conducting the interview via Zoom. Hi, it's Jeff Hoyt, Editor-in-Chief of SeniorLiving.org, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with one of my coworkers. Jessica Gandhi is our social media manager here at SeniorLiving.org. So we work together, and since she's an expert in social media, I thought I would talk to her about why seniors need to protect themselves when they go on social media. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for taking the time. So let's start out with why seniors would even want to get onto social media in the first place.
Yeah, well, it is common to feel isolated, especially during this time. And one way to combat loneliness is to find alternative ways to communicate. So many people use social media to stay connected with friends and family around the world. You can engage with lively conversation, discuss your favorite movie or TV show, share things you're passionate about, cats, dogs, food, and discover new things, watch funny videos, and just have a conversation. Social media is for fun.
Great. It's also a way to find your old high school classmates from a million years ago, too.
Yes.
So why do seniors need to protect themselves?
Well, if you are somebody who values your privacy, it's definitely important to understand how to do so on social media. And unfortunately, there are many reasons to protect yourself. There are many reasons to protect yourself, such as identity theft and phishing schemes, clickbait. And if you fall victim to one of those things, it can cause a lot of trouble. So you want to be careful.
So if someone wants to start out, dip their toe into social media, let's say, like, what's the best way to get started?
Well, I would definitely consider creating a social media account on a platform that your friends and family are already using. That way, it's much easier to communicate with them, share, and chat. Some of the most popular social media platforms are Facebook and Instagram. The majority of your friends and family are probably already on these, or at least on one of them. You've also got YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and these are great for content discovery. So, news, learning new things, spending hours watching silly videos. And if you are looking to reconnect with business professionals, you want to try LinkedIn.
So some sound like they're more for business and some sound like they're more for pleasure.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a different feel to some of the platforms. I think the majority of older adults are mostly on Facebook. Um, but we know that TikTok has been very popular lately. So that may be something that, some grandchildren might be using. So you might want to start an account to check out what their videos are sharing.
Well, my 13-year-old spends a lot of time on TikTok, indeed.
Yeah.
So, so a senior makes a new account, joins Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, what have you. What are the tips that you can share for them to protect themselves when they're on the social media?
So I've got some top ways seniors can protect themselves. I have 5 tips. So the first one is mindset. So think of social media as a public forum. Anything you share on social could be made public and shared. The second tip is keep or set your profile to private. If you don't want a random stranger liking your every social post, then change your profile to private. And then the third tip would be use a strong password. Try not to use the same password for every social account. Make sure you follow password best practices. So use a capital letter, lowercase letter, number, and a unique character if can. There is also a way to leverage your phone security measures. So people with iPhones can use Face ID to open apps instead of typing a password. Or you can use a password manager app to store all your unique passwords. And then tip number 4 is be careful about TMI. Don't share too much information. You may want to connect with old colleagues and friends, but there's also some information you may not want to share with them. So for instance, your date of birth, your job, your school, where you live. You know, if scammers can get a hold of this information, it could be used to figure out even more personal information. So you really want to be careful. And then tip number 5, adjust your privacy settings. So when you create an account, you can go into those settings and you can change it so you don't allow your data to be shared with other apps or third-party partners. And each social media platform is different, so you'll need to check each one.
So I just want to point out, these are all good tips for people of any age, not just seniors, because these are universal. And that last tip about your privacy settings, that you may have said it last, but that could be the first thing people want to do before they start sharing, is to get the privacy settings the way they want them before they even start, just to protect themselves fully.
Yes, absolutely. When you're creating accounts, you can set your profile to private. When you're creating it, you can check on your settings through the process. So absolutely, those can be done first, for sure.
And I've seen a lot of seniors and other people who are getting vaccinated sort of showing their vaccination cards on social media. And that's got birth date and where you are and medical information. And that's something that just falls under TMI as well.
Yes, yes, definitely don't want to show any sort of personal ID card, credit card, anything like that. That information can easily be stolen. So be very careful.
And you don't want your information used against you.
Yes.
So a lot of places say, instead of logging in, making up a name and a password, they say, hey, log in using Facebook. Like, is that a good idea? Once you set up a Facebook account, should you log into other sites using Facebook?
No. So short answer, no. I would not suggest using a social media profile to log into other websites. It is very convenient, or it seems that way. But you may also be giving that other website access to your personal information, name, email, etc. It's not always clear what information is shared between the two websites. So I definitely would suggest to err on the side of caution.
Okay, so you gave your top 5 tips. Once people have mastered those, any other additional tips you want to add?
Yes, so here's a few more additional tips. So delete any social accounts that you decide to stop using. Maybe you start an account on Twitter and you decide that's not the platform for you. Make sure to delete it so all that information that you had on there is now gone. Beware of phishing schemes through messenger apps, so such as WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. Don't click on any links that look suspicious or come from an unknown source, basically. Know who your friends are on these platforms. And then within the Facebook settings, limit sharing to friends only, not friends of friends. That, for instance, friends of friends would mean that my friends can see my posts and their friends can also see my posts. So your network is really expanded once you have friends of friends selected. And then lastly, just be careful when clicking on really entertaining content like quizzes or celebrity articles. I am definitely guilty of taking some really fun quizzes, but these can actually be clickbait and be a fake website that were collecting your information. So just make sure that the website is reputable before clicking on that link.
Well, my 10-year-old does spend a lot of time on BuzzFeed quizzes with friends, but she's not giving up any information there. So I think that's okay. You talk about friends getting information as well as the friends of friends. What if I have a special friend and I want to send them something really personal, something that I do want to share with them, but I don't want anyone else to see it. Is there anything wrong with me sending a racy photo or something, that I don't want the world to see, but just want this one special person to see?
Yeah, so it is okay, right? But just know that the recipient could still share whatever you share with them publicly. So as long as you're willing to take that risk, and also make sure when you are trying to have a private message or a private conversation with somebody that you're using a direct message or a DM, um, and not commenting on a social post, because those are more public. So yeah, just be careful.
Great. And then one final tip I think Jessica will agree with. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is social, and you can leave comments there for Jessica and I to read and respond to. So you can get tips like these and a lot more information that help seniors who are social media experts or just starting out. Really appreciate you taking the time, Jessica. Thanks.
Thanks so much.